think we're on.
We're going.
Hey everybody, it is David Townley. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm here with my beautiful wife, Jessica. Her birthday is on Sunday, everybody.
So be sure to
send presents. That's right. But again, David Townley with Townley Pool and Spa. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We're doing our live big green egg cooking class. We did a couple chickens earlier. We're going to talk about how to prep them. We're going to talk about how to carve them. We're going to do a little big green egg 101. So if you guys have had your egg for a little bit, maybe have some questions, please take the opportunity, take the time to ask your questions right here in the comment section. Jessica is going to be monitoring the comments. She'll repeat them back to me. We'll answer them. But if we can't get to them all tonight, we'll go back on there either later this evening or even tomorrow and we'll answer them. So if anybody's tuned in, could someone just give us a quick, hey, we can hear you, the audio is good. We got a little bit of a different camera setup this year or this time. So we'll wait for a few more people to get joined in and then we'll start our class. First of all, happy Thursday, everybody. Cheers.
Cheers for Thursday.
All right, again, welcome. Happy Thursday. Townley Pool and Spa, we're your platinum big green egg dealer here in Central Arkansas, right here in Little Rock. We carry pretty much every accessory for the big green egg that you can imagine. So great gift ideas, a lot of eggs for Father's Day, a lot of eggs for Christmas, and it's the gift that can keep on giving. Not only can you cook great food on it, but you also get every birthday, anniversary, like I said, Father's Day, Christmas gifts. There are gifts and gifts and gifts that you can spend as little as, $8 on, or you can spend, tables and carts and to your heart's desire. So it's a great activity. When you get a big green egg, you join the cult. You become an egghead for sure. So thank you guys again for joining us, and we're about to get this thing kicked off. So again, if anybody can tell us you can hear us okay, or we need to adjust the audio, we can do that. All right, so with the magic of some of this new camera processing system that we've got, we're going to start out with an egging 101. So, babe, if you'll follow me over here to this camera shot. Here we are with a large big green egg. This is probably the number one most sold size egg that we have. We do have 7 different sizes, but the egg does seem to be, the most common size that we do sell. What you see with the egg is it comes just kind of like this. This is the grill. It's got the dome, the base. It has the damper top, the temp gauge, the wooden handle, and the draft door down here at the bottom. This is a rolling nest. That is an accessory that you can purchase with your egg, or you can purchase a table or a cabinet. So it gives you a lot of customization that you can do. But when we're talking about the egg, this is a large egg right here. This has an 18-inch diameter cook surface. I'm going to lift this up. And you can see in here, 18-inch cook surface. The extra large egg is a 24-inch diameter. Then there's the double XL, that's 29 inches. So you just have to kind of see how many people are you going to be feeding, what size egg do you want, and please come in. And we've got all of our salespeople are all experts. We're all trained. We're all here to help you guys pick out the best egg. So a couple of misnomers. This is just a charcoal grill, but we're not using traditional charcoal that if you've used a Weber grill before or something like that, where you've got to put charcoal in and you got to fill it full of lighter fluid and then you got to get it lit. This is completely different. We're using natural lump charcoal. So it's a hardwood that's already been kind of turned into charcoal. It's already been charred. No chemical, no petroleum. In fact, don't ever use lighter fluid in here. And the way that this thick ceramic material holds that moisture into the food, the product that you get coming off of a big green egg is second to none. It's unbelievable. There's some great egg accessories that you can purchase. This is called a grill gripper, and this would allow you to reach in here and grab the grate and pull that out. That way you can add your charcoal, you can add your smoking wood chips, that kind of thing, to put it in and out of your grill. So when you start your grill, or when you fill it up with charcoal, go ahead and fill it full the way up to the top, right to that middle ring there. Some people think, oh, I'm not going to be cooking that much. I'm not going to cook that long. I don't want to burn all that charcoal, because they're used to having to take all that charcoal out and throw it away. Well, on a big green egg, you'll keep reusing that charcoal over and over. It cooks it so much more efficient that fill it up, light it, cook for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever you're cooking, and then you'll close the vents and dampen it out and snuff that fire out. You'll use that same charcoal next time. So in order to light it, you would fill it up full of charcoal, pull the grate out. You've got an electric lighting option called the Igniter. You can use little lighter cubes, and you just light it with a match. And then you want to actually close the dome, and you'll want to open that damper top all the way, and you'll want to open this draft door, this vent, all the way. It's nice. Big Green Egg does put a little vent there, and that way, if heaven forbid, a piece of charcoal were to fall out, and burn up your deck, they've got that little block in there. Air can come in, but little pieces of charcoal could come out. But you'll leave it wide open like this, okay? And you're going to be watching your temp gauge come up, and we're looking to see, smoke is billowing out of this thing, comes up to 100, comes to 200, and for like tonight, we're cooking chicken at 325 to 350. When we get about 50 to 70 degrees prior to that temperature setting, go ahead and close your vents about halfway down. Okay, you want to try to catch that temperature on its way up. If you let this thing, if you forget about it, you're into the house, you're messing with the kids, and this thing gets up to 600 or 700 degrees, it takes a long time for that to cool back down. So try to catch it, on the way up. And then as we get to be about 25 degrees below our target, then you're going to want to set your grates, and for like a 325 cook, you're probably open down here. I don't know if you can kind of see that, maybe an inch or so inch width, and up here at the top, maybe a quarter of an inch width. Pretty choked down. It's pretty small openings. You want to wait for that white, thick smoke to stop billowing out of the top. You're looking for a thin, clear, clean blue smoke coming out of the egg before you put your food on. So to light it, to before you're ready to cook on it, it only takes about 20 minutes. Some people think, oh, charcoal, it takes me an hour or 45 minutes to get it hot and get it lit. You can get your Big Green Egg lit real quick and have yourself cooking, by, come home from work at 5:30, 5:45. You got the egg lit, you got dinner on by 6:15, and you're eating at 7 o'clock. So it's a really quick, fast way to cook on your egg. All right, babe, so if you'll follow me back over here. Okay. Again, thank you guys for joining us on a Thursday night. Maybe we have any questions so far. Okay. So we're going to show you a couple of the things that we're going to use to actually cook this chicken. We're going to do two types of chicken. We're going to do the traditional beer can chicken that you've heard before, except for tonight, we're going to be doing ginger ale, Canada Dry. All right. And we're going to do what they call spatchcock chicken, which is basically where you cut the backbone out of the chicken and you open it up and cook it directly over the heat. So some of the rubs we're going to be using, we got to give a shout out to Eric Lee at Fire Dancer down in Benton. We're going to be using his chicken rub, and you guys know we've got a little loyalty thing here. My secret man crush on Ryan Lane of Lane's Barbecue. We're going to be using his signature rub. When we open up this spatchcock chicken, I'm going to show you what we're actually cooking that on. You can buy an accessory for your green egg, and these are called grill grates. And you can get an individual panel. You can get the whole set that has 3 panels with notched ends, so it's round and it'll fit down in your grill. But what's nice about these grill grates is you can see that there are little holes so that we can allow the grease or the food kind of drippings to come through. But there's enough flat surface here that it's almost impossible for you to get char. When a lot of people are grilling burgers, on a traditional charcoal grill, you get a lot of flare up and it singes, it burns the bottom of the meat. And as you can see, it's sitting up on these raised, peaks. And then in these valleys, you've almost got some indirect cooking.
And keep that in your hand, David. I'm going to go from the top view so that viewers can see that.
All right, let's take a look at that.
Okay.
All right.
So we're looking at that from the top.
From the top down. And what's nice about these is it comes with this little spatula, and you can actually get in there and flip burgers or flip hot dogs. They do make tongs. You could actually grill asparagus across the top. And if you want, flip it over. And this is how we cook fish. You can put your salmon, your catfish. You can cook right here on the bottom of this surface. It's an incredible
multi-purpose.
Yeah, multi-purpose.
Okay. And
grill grates. Get a little shout out. I don't know, is that the right way?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay,
looks
perfect.
Good.
Okay, so that's what we cooked the spatchcock chicken on. To do a beer can chicken, you do have the ability, to have some dedicated little chicken stand, a little bit of a solid wide base. You would put the chicken right on there. They do make a ceramic one that's hollow inside of here. You can put your own spices. You can cut up onion. You can cut up garlic and put it all in there. Fill it with some liquid, whether it be apple juice or beer or any kind of soda, and cook that chicken from the inside. Or you can just literally stand it up on top of a can. But again, not as much width on that base. So for stability of a chicken, this is going to be your least favorite option. And one of these two would give you a much more solid wide base. Okay? Or even the traditional roasting rack. You could put the whole chicken right on this roasting rack. It's going to be elevated. You could put that inside of a roasting pan, and you could put, potatoes, carrots, celery, all in that bottom. And as that chicken is kind of dripping into the pan, you can cook all that vegetable in the juice. So this is another way that we do the Thanksgiving turkey, just on a much larger scale. So, okay, any questions before we get the chickens out? Okay. I want to thank my beautiful wife, Jessica, for running the audio visual tonight. So thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
Okay, so let's get to it. Thank you guys for joining us. Happy Thursday. Okay. Hopefully you guys are able to hear us okay. Sound good. Okay, so we've got our gloves on for our... All right, so here we go. We've got 2 chickens, right? All I did on these, I just went to Edwards Food Giant right there at Cantrell, Mississippi. Bought 2 chickens. These are just the standard traditional roasting chicken that you get, or fried chicken, whatever you want to do with it. They were about 5.5 pounds each, and I want to say they were in the neighborhood of maybe $6 or $7. So this is not an expensive, piece of meat, obviously, to cook. When you cut the package open, obviously there's a lot of juice. Okay, you got a lot of stuff dripping down, and again, from personal experience, you want to make sure you get all the stuff out of the chicken. So you can kind of see they tuck, its little tail in here, and then they shove all the innards in there. So I'm going to pull all these innards out. They do a heart, liver, gizzard. If anybody knows what a gizzard is, that would be awesome. All right, pull all this stuff out. You can keep this, cook it, eat it. I'm not going to do anything with it. The kids would gag if we put that on their plate. All right, so clean out that whole cavity inside that chicken. All right, and I'm going to go over here to the second one. Baby, if you'll grab us a top down so you can kind of see all the stuff. Unlike a turkey for Thanksgiving, they'll also put, maybe a seasoning packet, and they usually tuck it up here behind where the neck is. So chickens, they don't do that. It's usually just the innard kind of stuff here. All right, so to trim the chicken, if you want, you don't have to do a whole lot to it. A lot of people will rinse these off in your sink. I don't like doing that because then you're just splashing potentially salmonella all over the sink. So I'll just open the package and then just get a paper towel and just pat them dry. You can spray paint them on them. You can rub them with olive oil, but sometimes I just like to use the natural, material inside the chicken. All right, so I'm going to grab this knife here, and I will trim a little bit, like all this skin hanging back here on the back, all this tail skin. Usually I just try to cut that off. I mean, that's not really going to cook. It may burn, it may smell. You could cut this little bit of the tail off. I cut some more of this little skin here off its bottom. Okay. Looking for little gills or quills or whatever you may have sticking out of that. Okay, that one's good. And then same thing, I'm going to cut some of the skin off of this one. Look at its neck. Okay. All right, and that one's good. So, again, we're going to be doing the beer can chicken. I'm going to use this can of ginger ale, and it's literally as easy as taking the can, opening that, and this could be any kind of liquid. It could be beer, it could be apple juice, it could be wine, anything that you want to try to infuse into the chicken. And there's only one place that this can go, and you just kind of have to open up its little cavity here, and you pick this chicken up and set him down right on top of the can. Okay? And then you can tuck his little legs in. Where's his other little leg? Okay, just like so. And that's how we would prep, the beer can chicken. Now for a term that people may have misunderstood me when I said it the first time, but this is called the spatchcocking of the chicken. So we're going to take either some really sharp kitchen shears or a really strong knife, and we're going to cut its backbone out. So looking at a chicken, when we flip this thing over on its back, you obviously have the two breasts, the legs, the thighs, the two wings, and again, roll it back over, and we've got his whole backbone, his whole spine as we go down. So I'm going to use this really sharp knife, try to grab a hold of the backbone, and try to find myself, probably between its backbone and the wing, and I'm going to just start trying to cut right down through some of these. Hopefully you can hear that. Probably sounds weird. Cut right down the side of this thing and separate these bones. I may have to scooch over just a little bit more. Ooh. Yeah, right in there. Okay, so we've cut that half of the backbone out. Now we're going to do the same thing, just obviously on the other side. And I'm going to show you how this will look when we're done. I do want to give another shout out to Brad Davenport for sharpening these knives. So thank you so much, because that made it a ton easier. All right, anybody seen the movie Predator? There's a little thing, or Alien, I guess, with Sigourney Weaver. Okay. So now that we have its backbone removed, we flip it over, and this is the best part of the whole spatchcock experience. But you just push down here on its breastplate and snap that open and flatten it out. Then you can grill this chicken basically, from the inside up. So you can direct grill this. We're going to end up indirect grilling both of our chickens. We have the convector or the plates that are in there to give us just a little bit of a heat barrier and a little bit more smoke. So anyway, this is the spatchcock chicken here, and I'm going to set that here, and I'm going to go ahead and put the seasoning on now. Let's see. Let's do the fire dancer. You guys can see that.
Perfect.
The fire dancer rub on our spatchcock chicken. Okay, and I like to grab the wings and kind of pull them out here and give it a pretty decent dusting of the barbecue rub. You can pull this skin back and try to separate and put some of that rub up under the skin, or you could put butter in there or garlic. But sometimes when it's a Thursday night and you're trying to feed the kids and you're just trying to get some food on the grill, I will just go straight rub right on the bird here and open him up like so. Get some of those wings. All right, so for the beer can chicken, we're going to use the Lane's Barbecue signature rub. Okay, this is his great, all-purpose, go on anything rub. And again, with our beer can chicken, just be a little careful, kind of stabilize him as we're putting the rub on, because again, he's sitting on just a beer can, or a ginger ale can. And I will just sprinkle this all around. You can inject the breasts, there's some of that Tony Chachere's Creole butter, but again, the egg is going to impart so much more flavor, holding that moisture in with some of the ceramic. Okay, and just give it a nice little dusting, coating with the rub there. So we've got 2 chickens prepped, dressed, and ready to go onto the grill. All right, I'm going to move this aside, and then we're going to come back through the magic of TV. All right. Now, let's see if I can pick this up and not drop it.
And voila!
And voila! Look at that. It's done. Okay. Let me spin this around just so it looks probably a little bit more oriented. So these came off the grill right before the class started. So we cooked them at 325 for about an hour and 40 minutes. The best thing you can do when you're cooking anything, meat, poultry, beef, pork, is to have a nice instant read thermometer. You want to make sure you're getting your food to temp and maybe not so much to time. So that's a big thing. All right, so we've got our spatchcock chicken, and then we've got our beer can chicken. We took the beer can out and we laid this chicken over on its side. So now I'm going to put some gloves on. And you'll see, this may help you make the difference between which one's better, which one's easier. I'll have my favorite and we'll see what your favorite is. Okay. So, this is a different knife. Okay, so we do believe in cleanliness here. I think the spatchcock chicken, personally, is it's a better way, to cook the turkey or cook the chicken, and then also serve it up. All right, I'm gonna push this out of the screen a little bit so I can bring up a separate cutting board.
Do you want me to come back frontal or keep
let's do for the top for next, and then we'll do it. All right, so I'm gonna grab this chicken here. All right, everybody, let me know if that's in the shot.
It is.
Okay.
So it's good.
So I'm going to grab this knife, and you can separate, that wing just comes right off there. All right, so I'm going to grab the other one and pretty much just pull that off. All right, so we got 2 wings, and then you can grab these legs and get right down into that joint, and you can just see all the juice that's in there. It's basically just, I'm not even really cutting it, I'm more just pulling it apart. Cutting through the skin. All right, there's your 2 legs, and then you're kind of left over with the breast of the chicken. So I like to cut, kind of find right here in the midpoint, and then come over maybe again 1/4 of an inch or so, and try to cut and start scooping it out at an angle when I cut the breast of this chicken out. And it is pretty hot still, so probably would have been a good idea to use an insulated glove with my left hand. All right, I'll come back this way. And I'll show you a technique that I learned. Everybody likes the skin. Everybody fights over it. So, when you take and separate that breast out, if I was to cut it in layers this way, only this first person is going to get skin. But if you separate out the breast and then you start making slices on it, and everybody, gets a piece of the skin, on their bite. So cut down from it like so, and if that skin separates a little bit, you can pull it back. And now everybody gets a little piece of the goodness there. And it smells wonderful.
It smells amazing.
All right, then you can still come back here and keep carving out more, of the white meat. So you can have some people pick parts of the breast. They can grab some of the dark meat off the leg, or they can grab, the wing. So that's how easy it is to do the spatchcock chicken, which is probably why it's my favorite. And then as you can see, I'm going to grab this beer can chicken here. And you would have to do the same type of thing where you've got a much less stable bird, you're pulling on the legs, and you've got to pull this apart and separate right at that bone joint. Where is it? Right there. You got a leg off of that one. Pull. It is just full juiciness here. Separate this leg. Somewhere in here.
Now, that chicken that you cooked earlier, did you use just a ginger ale?
This one I did use ginger ale as well.
Okay.
Okay, there's
That's
that
what I
leg.
thought.
And then
still, as you can see,
it is
ginger ale
juicy.
is very juicy.
It is all get out. I would say, much like cooking with wine and stuff, if you cooked it with actual beer, you're not really putting beer in it, so it's not like you can't serve it to children or you have to ID your guests before you cook them with the chicken. But there's the 2 wings. And then similar fashion, when you've got your whole chicken, I like to grab the breasts and cut them and separate that piece out, that whole piece of meat there. And then, you can flip that back over. And same technique on cutting the skin across the top to serve some of that breast meat with some of that skin on it. So, all right, we'll come back to this one. Okay. So, bottom line, cooking a chicken on a big green egg, super easy. Would be a great first or second cook. You've got a much lower temperature range that you're trying to keep out. Your first 3 or 4 cooks on your brand new big green egg should be kept below 350 anyway. So rather than trying to go right off into a steak or go right off into pizza, start with something easy. Start with a chicken, start with pork butt, and let that temperature help set that gasket or that seal that's inside the dome. And then you move into chickens, then Thanksgiving turkey, brisket, pork butt, and you guys are more than welcome to kind of keep looking in on our Facebook. We've got some classes that we recorded last year. With COVID, we used to normally do in-store classes.
We did
a lot
of
fun.
Class.
We did a pork butt class.
Months ago.
Done a brisket class. We have a chili class coming up that you guys can attend, and then we will do another turkey class in November so that everybody can cook their Thanksgiving turkey on their big green egg. There's no other way to have your turkey other than cooking it on the big green egg.
Never, ever, ever cook it any other way besides that.
Yes. So here is how simple it is to cook a chicken 2 different ways. We have the beer can method. We have the spatchcock. Just 2 of them. It cooked at 325 for about an hour and 40 minutes or so. And we got an internal temperature on that breast, the white meat, at 165. And typically the legs, the darker meat, they do cook faster. So that ends out at about 180, 185 degree range. So again, we want to cook to temp and not so much cook to time. And that way we make sure everybody's being healthy and safe and enjoying their cooking. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. Babe, I love you.
I love you.
Thank you for helping me with the audio visual.
Of course.
And if you guys have any questions, just leave the comments in there. We will answer it. We'll get back to you. We would love to help. Right now we're doing on your big green egg, it's $50 off worth of accessories when you purchase a large, and it's $75 off when you purchase your extra large. So come in and see us. Come talk to any one of us. We would love to talk to you about big green egg, and you guys have a good evening. All right. Thank you so much.